Hi y'all, welcome back to Heretics Bible Study. Today we are looking at the cast of characters for the story, The Legend of the Lost Word. Today we're looking at Hiram, the king of Tyre. This was the wealthy and powerful king of Tyre and the good friend of David and Solomon, according to everyone in the Bible. King Hiram provided skilled workmen and quantities of cedar planks for building the temple in Jerusalem. In return, Solomon sent Hiram great quantities of wheat, barley, oil, and wine. Hiram and Solomon also joined forces on a highly profitable shipping venture and brought back fortunes in gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. Although his other achievements are not mentioned in the Bible, we know that Hiram was a great builder and effective ruler, fortifying and beautifying Tyre and campaigning against Cyprus, one of his restless provinces. We also know that he was part of this trio, Solomon, King Hiram of Tyre, and Hiram of Beef. So what does the Hiram key say about it? All of this work had to be paid for, that is the building of the temple, and virtually all the expertise used was foreign. Hiram, king of Tyre, provided the skilled workforce and most of the raw materials. This was a great expense for the fledgling kingdom, and Solomon started to run out of money, with many cities being sold to pay off the mounting debts. The population had to endure forced labor, with gangs of 10,000 people being sent for monthly spells in the Lebanon to work for Hiram, king of Tyre. The kingdom was split into 12 regions, with each region responsible providing taxes to the palace for 1 month of each year. Tax levels became increasingly high, and Solomon's subjects began to lose their enthusiasm for their king's desire for grandeur. We'll cover Solomon in the next episode. Hiram, king of Tyre, provided the labor and the cedar. So some have connected the two, Hiram, king of Tyre, with Hiram of Beef. But there is no possible link apart from the fact that they share a name. We, like all Freemasons of our acquaintance, accept the Masonic hero despite knowing that he was not recorded as being involved in the creation of Solomon's temple. Except that he was. Continuing with everyone in the Bible, there is a second Hiram in the Bible, the creative genius who designed and fashioned the furnishings in Solomon's temple. This Hiram was the son of a woman from the tribe of Naphtali and a brass worker from Tyre. He was sent by King Hiram, no relation, to work for Solomon. And in addition to serving as architect for the great structure, this artistic Phoenician cast the two great brass pillars, the enormous basin known as the Molten Sea, and the elaborate base supporting it, the 12 oxen, and all the exquisite utensils used in the temple services. Hiram was skilled at working with metals, wood, stone, precious stones, and fabrics. According to Strong's Concordance, Hiram is from a root which means whiteness. And that's interesting because according to the dictionary, Phoenicia got its name from a Greek word which means purple red. And it has no relation to the word phonetic. That comes from a different Greek word, even though one of the very few things that the Phoenicians left us was their alphabet. Phoenicians were also famous for that purple color that they were named after. So according to our Compact Bible Dictionary, Phoenicia is a country along Mediterranean coast, extending from Arvad or Arados to just south of Carmel. The Semitic name for the land was Canaan. The term Phoenician is a Greek word meaning dark red, perhaps because the Phoenicians were discoverers of the crimson purple dye derived from the murex shellfish, which is very popular with royalty. Again, nothing survives but the alphabet, no books. It's purple red, which is favored by royalty to this day. and the Canaanite gods, Baal and Molech. Oh, and child sacrifice. King Solomon was alive during the Deuteronomy age, approximately 950 BC, and King Solomon of Tyre, that Phoenician Tyre, that kingdom lasted until it was taken over by Alexander the Great in 300-ish BC. And there's Tyre right there as part of the Greek. It's also curious that despite the vastness of Alexander's kingdom, which continued on until the Romans took over, which was somewhere between 100 to 300 AD, there were 7 libraries of Alexandria. It was during this age that we get the Septuagint. We know that the Phoenician alphabet survived. It morphed into the Latin alphabet and eventually into ours, but there's no writings. And some people will tell you that Baal and Moloch worship and child sacrifice continue to this day. We can also look at these characters metaphorically, with Solomon being a solo mind of one mind to build this temple, with Hiram and Hiram as in 2 halves of the mind, with Hiram, the left brain, tithing out, sending out the workers, including Hiram, the right brain, who creates all of this magnificent structure. And speaking of this magnificent structure, keep in mind that it is 2 parts Phoenician. And so the Phoenician religion is always shown, religion is always shown through architecture in the ancient times. So there's really not a lot to go on here with this character. We'll just have to leave it at that and see what turns up. There's big blank space and all right, Janae. Peace out.